because they are, they are really helping you in the path of self-realization. Enjoy them. When you're suffering, you enjoy them, that with these sufferings I am gaining something. I'm gaining the real, the real strength by which I'm going to realize the self. And that is what Krishna says in his next verse. What he says, yang hina vathayante te purusham purushasrava. He says, Arjuna, that is the real human being. That is the real human being who does not get broken with any kind of sufferings. Yam hina vyatayante. Te purusham purushasva. You can have vyatha, that is, you can have sufferings, but you will not be vyatayante. You will not be suffering. You can have sufferings, you can have adversities, you can have many conditions in which you don't feel comfortable at all. But though you don't feel, though you are not in a comfortable situation, don't become uncomfortable. Always try to find comfort even when you are not in a comfortable situation. Okay? Yeah, try to remain at peace even when you are not in a position, not in a situation of peace. Try to be happy when you are in your adversity. Yam hina vathayante te purusham purushashtava sama sukha dukha dhiram. The real wise man. The real wise men. Do you know what the real wise men are? How these real wise men are? They always treat happiness and sorrow to be the same. Sama dukha sukham dhiram. The real wise men, they, the wise men, they don't only, go for happiness. They not only go for bliss. Whatever comes, they treat them, equally. They are always, established in equanimity. They are always established in equanimity. Samadukha sukham dhiram. The one who is a real enlightened person, he will always treat happiness and sorrow to be the same. Samadukha sukham dhiram sa amritatvaya kalpate. And that person who can, who can accept these both extremes as the same, that is the person who is actually qualified to realize the self. To realize the self, you need qualification. It's not that you want to realize, you are aspiring for realization and you are going to realize. It cannot happen. Self-realization is the highest knowledge. So for this highest knowledge, you need to have, qualifications. You need to qualify. The nature will test you. The environment will test you. Guru will test you. God will test you. You have to go through, various degree of examination, various degrees of test. Every time the nature is going to test you. Every time the Guru is going to test you. Every time the God is going to test you. Until a time when you completely surrender before the Guru. That will also come from your inside. You cannot do it just like, okay, I know that for self-knowledge I have to surrender, so I go to Bhagavan, I am surrendering before you. This is not possible. That is not surrender. You have to go through this process. You have to go through this process. You have to burn. You have to burn, suffer. And at one time, this going and falling down in his feet and surrendering everything will come through you spontaneously. It will come through you spontaneously. So the moment it comes through you spontaneously, that will be the real surrender. And the moment you surrender, then you become self-knowledgeable person. Then you become enlightened. Before you surrender, before you depend upon your mind, before you depend, till you depend upon your mind, your body, your own strength, your own power, your own intellect, your own capabilities, till that time the kingdom of infinity is beyond your reach. The moment you raise your hands, and say, I surrender, that is the time when God manifests through you, when the self manifests through you. Okay? Yam hina vathayante te purusham purushastava samadukha sukham dhiram sa amritatvaya kalpate. A person who can accept this happiness and sorrow to be the same, this is the person who is qualified to have self knowledge. Then the next one, na sato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate sata ubhayorapi drishtonta tu anayo tattvadarshi bihi. So this is the verse. Na sate vidyate bhava. He says that, see, you are so much worried about your people, about their death, but the one which does not have any existence, the one which is not true, will not have his existence. The body is not true. The body is born and it's going to die, and that is why it's not true. It's not it's not like eternal. Anything which is not eternal is not true. So because the body has its origination and its and its destruction, that is why the body is not true. So na sate vidyate bhavo. So the one which is not true will not have its existence. So this body about whom you are so much worried about actually does not have its existence. Put it on yourself. Anything about which you are so concerned, anything about which you are so much worried, okay, they actually don't exist at all. Na sate vidyate bhavo. Why? Because they are not true. They have a origination and they will have a destruction. And because they are not true, they don't have. So what happens? Why I'm seeing it now? You are seeing it now because there are many existences which Vedanta says. One is the existence which is an apparent existence, which I'm watching now, which I'm experiencing now. That is apparent existence. And the other is real existence. So every existences, everything that we experience in this material world is apparent existences. They are a reality now, but the moment you close your eyes, they vanish. A mother, there's a beautiful story about this. There's a beautiful story. There was one very poor farmer. Okay, he had an only son, and he used to work very hard in the field. So one day, and when he used to work, in the field, his wife used to bring food in the afternoon. So after taking food, he used to go for a nap, and then he used to wake up, and then he used to work in the field, and then he used to come back. So one day, the farmer, after having food, he was taking a nap, and all his friends came and they woke him up. Hey, wake up. What happened? Your only son died. Huh? My only son died. Okay. So the man went and he saw that his wife is crying like anything, because that was their only son. His wife is like fainting and crying and fainting, but he was not having any reaction. He was like very dumb. He was calm. So people thought that maybe he had a shock, and because of this shock he was not reacting. So they wanted to make him acquainted with the reality, what is going on. They said, hey, you see, your son is dead. Your only son is dead. Why don't you cry? See, your only son is dead. So he said, you know what happened? What? Now when I was sleeping, I was watching a dream. What is the dream? I was watching a dream that I was a king and I had 4 wives. I was a very rich king and I had 4 wives, and each wife, from each wife I had 7 children. So I had 28 children, and I had a big palace, and I had a very very happy family. And one day I was with my 28 children and 4 wives, and we were all enjoying our afternoon meal. And that is the time when you wake me up to tell me that my only son is dead. Now I am thinking that for whom I should cry? Should I cry for this only son, or I should cry for the kingdom which I just lost, or I should cry for this, for 4 wives that they just were dead now. I just lost them, or my 28 children, or my kingdom, or all this pleasure that I was having. So reality is very difficult to define. Now what is happening with us is a reality, but after some time it becomes a non-reality. Like when I was a child, I had many friends and they were so real to me. If I didn't see them, I felt like I have lost everything in my life. Today I don't talk to them, today I don't see them, I have forgotten them completely. But they don't create any difference in my mind. My life is going on. So the reality which I had when I was a child is not a reality now. The reality has changed. So this reality that I am having now is also going to change after some time. So anything which is not true does not have any existence, because the experiences that I had while I was a child was not true. That is why they have lost its existence. And these experiences that I am having now, and I'm thinking that they are true, but they are not true. So because they are not true, they will also not have any existence after some time. In that way, the whole world does not have any existence at all, because it is not true. It has got an origination. It's not eternal. Okay. So na sate vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, and the one who is truth, and the one which is truth will never cease to exist. It will always exist. In this time and beyond this time, irrespective of any time, any condition, that will exist. Ubhayorapi drishtanta tu anayo tattvadarshvi. The one who have realized the self-realized person, they know the difference between these two. But we don't know. The normal people of this world, the common people of this world, they don't know the reality. And that is why they cannot judge which is true and which is false. Whatever they see, they think that is the only truth, and they run for that. But try to see the reality of everything. This is not real at all. Okay. So he says, na sato vidyate bhava, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubhayorapi drishtanta tu anayo tattvadarshibhihi. A wise person knows the difference between what is real and what is not real. And that is why he does not run after that which is not real. He always stays with that which is real, and that is why he gains always. Okay. Now when he says this, he doesn't mean that whatever we are seeing this is not real. He says that these are all reality, but these are not the reality that you see. The reality in this is covered with the name and form. The reality that you experience in this world, that the reality that you experience in the world is not real, because the actual reality of the world is covered by the name and the form. Okay. And that is why, though this world is real, but it is not real. Why? Because you don't experience the real existence of this world. You only experience the apparent existence of this world, which is not true. And that is what he says now. Avinashi tu tadviddi yena sarvamidam tatam. Whatever you see in this world, wherever you see, whatever you see, everything is indestructible. Everything is eternal. Everything is eternal. But you are not seeing that eternal entity. You are seeing only the name and form and thinking that this name and form is the eternal entity. But this name and form is not the eternal entity. The real existence beyond this name and form is the real entity, which you fail to see. And that is why he says, Avinashi tu tadviddi yena sarvamidam tatam. Whatever you are experiencing now, whatever you are seeing now, know that everything is indestructible. Everything is imperishable. Binasham avvayasyasya na kartum arhasi. Na kashchit kartum arhasi. He says that, the one which is infinite, can never be destroyed, will never meet its destruction. So everything that you see is infinite. It will never meet its destruction. So you are infinite, I am infinite, everything is infinite. But you don't perceive yourself as infinite. Whenever you perceive yourself as finite, confined within your body. Because you perceive yourself to be confined within your body, that is why this knowledge is not the real knowledge. This is the ignorance. This knowledge is ignorance. The day you will experience the infinite nature of yourself, that is the day when you will experience the infinite nature of everything. And that is the day when you will lose this conception of finiteness. You will lose the conception of finiteness. Though you will seek finiteness, but always within your mind, this knowledge of the infinite will stay. Okay? So today we stop here. It's quite late here. What time now? So